Good morning, everybody. Happy Sunday. I'm on my way to work. Serve my time, of course. It's a real sunny morning, so it's going to be hot today. I ain't gonna lie, yesterday I was dragging my ass, dude. I was just not feeling it, man. Like, I was really underpowered, let's say, yesterday, all day, man. I got home and had a little food, and I was in bed by 7 p.m. and I didn't wake up till 5 a.m. So I got over 10 hours sleep. I feel better though. I definitely feel better. But man, I don't know. It's just the heat. I don't fare that well in heat. So, but fortunately, it's going to start cooling down a little bit here this week. It's going to be another hot one today, but after today, I guess it's supposed to start cooling down. Yay! So anyways, got up, did my usual routine, coffee, my oatmeal, dropped the Cleveland Browns off at the Rose Bowl, my usual routine. But, I'm sitting there online, watching the news, my usual stuff. And this guy's riding this bike around with no freaking wheel. Look at this, no tire, chains off. Unreal. So anyways, I'm watching TV. Let's just say I'm watching TV. I'm watching people try to, hang with each other, hang out with each other in person. And I'm just looking, and like everybody looks uncomfortable. Like just people can't be comfortable around each other in person. It's like everybody looks anxious, right? Or anxious or just like uncomfortable, man. It's really kind of a bummer, actually, because people just don't mingle how they used to, man, like before internet. And I'm sitting there thinking, why can't people just hang out like they used to, man, like, and just have a comfortable visit? Okay, it's like people can't just have a comfortable, relaxed interaction in person with people. It's always like stressful, anxious, nervous, maybe even a little pissy, like kind of a little moody, kind of, I'm thinking this is really getting to be like the way people are around each other in person. And I'm just thinking it's got to be the internet, dude. Like, people are so used to their social life being on the internet. When they're around people in real life, they can't feel comfortable. And it's because we've conditioned ourselves to be isolated a lot of the time. Most people are isolated in most of their spare time. It's not like back in the day before the internet, where people had no choice. Either be isolated at home and no social life, or you have to get off your ass, actually call somebody, talk to them in real time with your own voice, or you get off your ass, or they get off their ass, and you meet, or someone comes to your house in person, or you go to their house in person, and you have to interact in person. And it's just not happening these days, and it's making it worse. The internet is making it harder for people to actually be around each other in person. Anybody, even your own friends, it's not as comfortable to be around even your own friends in person as it is online. So, basically what I'm saying is the internet is screwing up social life, at least for, for people in person and family meetings in person. It's uncomfortable. It's not as comfortable as interacting with people on the internet because we've conditioned ourselves to be this way. And I'm really convinced that the internet is changing everything, man. Like, I don't think it's more convenient this way, but it's not as good, okay? Because it defeats the whole purpose, man. Really. How much comfort can you give someone over the internet? How much help can you give or receive over the internet? Not much, really. Not like it would be in real if you were to have someone in your life in person, or you're in their life in person at their house or wherever you meet out and about, right? It just doesn't compare, dude, because you can't hug somebody or shake somebody's hand. You can't look at them in the eye when you're talking to them. You can't do this, you can't do that over the internet. All you can do is type some text and hear their voice, and that's about the extent of it, really. So it's very limiting, the internet for social life. It's very limiting and restricting, really. But with all that limitation and restriction with social life on internet, it's also changed people's attitude towards other people, where like when they're on the internet, you can get away with saying shit, right? You can get away with a lot of stuff that normally you can't get away with in real life, because if you disrespect someone in real life, well, they have the option at that point to get in your grill and set you straight. Where online, they can't do that. You're just a keyboard cowboy or girl, or if someone says something real nice to you in person, okay, I'm just showing you examples. They have the ability to hug you or shake your hand or pat you on the back or look at you and give you real love or kudos, give you kudos in person. You know what I mean? It's just the internet is making it to where we're not having real interactions anymore. It's just very limited, restricted interactions. But I just made that observation. As I'm watching people online trying to hang out with people, and it just looks like everybody is so uncomfortable and awkward. It's like cringy almost, Damn, what's up, girl? Same with like looking at like, the opposite sex. Like, how much can you do on the internet if you're attracted to somebody? It's a lot different when you do an approach to someone in person, because they get to see how you really are in real life, opposed to what you want them to see by what you post up on the internet and what you type, right? Two different deals, man. Like, you might not be that impressive to someone of the opposite sex on the internet because they might not like your pictures. You might not say the best things, and they won't feel the connection because you're not right there. They can't hear you, they can't see you, they can't smell you, whatever. They can't touch you, they can't feel that connection over the internet. But if you meet them in real life, they might actually like you because they get they get to see what you're like, and that's another reason why people are isolated these days, because they're not used to having that real life interaction, and maybe in real life they don't get the attention they do as if they do like they do when they're online. There's a lot of reasons why it's different. So I was just tripping out on that, noticing that. And even in my own life, like when I'm around, I work in a mall, and I'm around a lot of people all the time, all day, and I just notice how people are so like non-interactive with people, really. They're just either by themselves, or if they're with somebody, they're just like not really open to other people. Damn, girl, what's up, man? Oh, cutie pie. Sorry. But anyway, you keep following me. Follow me right over here. So I just was making these observations, and it's the internet. It's really changing things like a lot, and some of it's good, but a lot of it is bad. Really, it's not good. It's not as good as the way things used to be. It's more convenient, that's about it. But the conveniency of it doesn't outweigh the restrictions that it has, man. So just an observation, and hopefully someday something, us as people, it's not like this for everybody. I see people that are still getting together and still living normal, having normal relationships in person. I see it still happens, but not as much as it used to. Okay, you believe it or not, just a few years ago, maybe 8 years ago or longer, I actually had a crew of people I would hang out with in real life, okay, in person. I had, like, all my friends were like my family, and we got together all the time. I would go to their house, they would go to my house, or wherever. We'd meet up at places. That shit just ended, man. It just ended. And it's the most bizarre thing ever, dude. Like, I look at pictures from just 8 years ago, and I look at pictures. In fact, when I get home today, I'm gonna find a picture of me with my friends that we're hanging out in real life, and I'm gonna use that for the thumbnail of this, but it won't be till later, because I'll upload this at work this morning, but I'll add that thumbnail later to this. And you'll see I actually had friends in real life. Woo! As bizarre as that seems, I actually had a crew. I mean, I still talk to some of these people online, but we don't hang out like, especially now that I'm sober. It's even worse, really, because alcohol was the thing that we had in common. A lot of my friends I had in real life. Okay, I'm not saying that I can't hang out with them in real life because I'm sober, but it was the thing that it would start the hangouts, But this isolation whole change that is going on with me, and I'm sure a lot of others, has started even when I was partaking in alcohol and drugs. Okay, so I can't blame it on that. It's the internet. Okay, either that, or I'm just tripping and I'm off my own, and I'm on my own. But I don't know. I see a lot of people online saying the same things. They've never felt so lonely in their lives. They've never felt so isolated in their lives. Everything has changed. They have no more friends that come to see them. They don't go see anybody. That none of their families comes to see them. They don't go see another family. Everybody's isolated. But the main point I'm trying to make is I noticed how awkward it is for people these days to interact in person. Like I said, I work in a mall. Everybody's around each other, but they're not talking to each other. They're just in their own little clique, and it's like they want nothing to do with anybody else. They're not open. If they're alone, they're usually hiding behind their phone, closed off, completely, like the wall is up. Hi, little birdie. He's just hanging out there. Look at. Where is he? There he is. He's just hanging out. Even what kind of bird is that? What are you doing, little guy? What are you doing? He's hanging out. Yeah, cleaning himself. So I got to go serve my time. Hopefully I'll remember to get that thumbnail later and put it on this video. I'll try. If not, oh well, it is what it is. So appreciate y'all stopping by, and hope y'all have a fantastic day, and we'll catch you later. See ya.